What is going on, everybody? All right, so we're back with this live stream. Let's get into it as we wait for more notifications to go out and everybody is checking it out. Let's talk about a few things. So, we do have some DC updates and some other interesting stuff that I want to talk about. All right, so first thing we have is Dragon Ball anime. It's officially making a comeback on October 11. This looks very interesting, and of course, from the old shows, if you've seen it from the early 90s and I think early 2000s or so where it stopped. It's pretty good. I used to watch all the cartoons and it was pretty dope. I liked it back then, and I'm sure the new one's gonna be good. And this is something that it's pretty interesting because it's been a while that we've gotten an anime for Dragon Ball, and seeing that is pretty dope. And it's gonna be pretty cool to see. Hey, what's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you watching. Just out of curiosity, what time is it over there right now where you're at? Over where we're at right now is 7:40 p.m. and I'm on the east coast of the states, just to see. I'm just curious on that. So, like I said, just waiting for more people to come in so we can watch. So we can talk and chat and all that good stuff. So here we are. Like I said, October 11, we got Dragon Ball that they're making a comeback and they're doing an anime show. This is gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see that. Hopefully, it will be good. Oh wow! So you guys are a day ahead. Pretty awesome. Nice, nice. All right, so that's the first update I want to talk about. Now let's get into some updates of Pacific Rim. So apparently there's a prequel that's a series that's in the works that Legendary is working on right now. That's something that's pretty cool because I'm a Pacific Rim fan and I like what we got with the first and the second movie. A lot of people didn't like the second film. I actually liked it, especially the part where all these robots are going at it and stuff like that. It was very action packed. I liked it. The cast, they should have kept the original cast while adding the new cast that they were bringing in and stuff like that. But it's been a few years now that we've gotten the second movie. Hopefully, we can get a third one very soon. But for now, I'll take a prequel if you want to say. We don't know how it's gonna be, who's gonna make it. They're just right now in the talks of it. So hopefully, it's something that's gonna be good, and it's gonna be from just something that whoever is gonna do it, let it just be good, and hopefully it's not like what we got with Halo. Hopefully this is just focusing, like probably on the Jaegers and like everything that has to do with those robots and all the stuff that they were preparing and things like that. So it would be awesome to see how they're building it. Of course, like getting all the I guess the materials and everything that they need for these robots and everything that has to do with all these characters that they're going to be doing and stuff like that. You're planning to watch in Pacific Rim soon. It's pretty dope. You should check it out. I really liked it. The first one, of course, Guillermo del Toro, he was the one to do it, and it was awesome. Has the music is amazing. The fight scenes, like all the characters that they have, it's pretty awesome. I watch it from time to time. It would be nice if they would do a Pacific Rim versus Godzilla. That would be something interesting that I would want to really, really see. Yeah, the trailer's pretty dope. You got to check out. You really have to watch the movies. They're good. One and two. I like them. I know a lot of people didn't like them, but to each their own. It was very very entertaining. I actually liked it and stuff like that. So, yeah, when you check it out, you'll enjoy it hopefully. All right, so let's move on to the next update while still staying on the topic. So Pacific Rim updated their profile picture. Pretty interesting. You see this? That's the logo from I guess their I don't know what they call it, but I guess from whatever squad they are, and like from these characters and stuff like that. I'm not too hardcore into it, but I do love these robots that they have, their designs and stuff like that. That's the part that really drags my attention. So this was updated today, about like from the time right now, probably like 6 hours ago or something like that. But it's interesting because this right here has everybody right now very excited. But this is something that it's for the following. It's not for the movie, it's not for the show. It's just simply for I guess this is a book that they're working on because it's from Legendary Comics. It might be like a graphic novel. We don't know. I know it's something that they're working on that's gonna be, some type of book or something like that. And like what it says, today we face the monsters at our door. I mean, when you see it, of course, clearly you could tell it's a comic, and it's good that they have the original cast and the new one, like you can see right there. That's pretty dope, and that's something good that we need for this type of genre when it comes to these type of movies, because this right here is fun overall. Like, I don't really care when the story makes sense or anything when it comes to this type of these type of movies. It's like I just want to see them go at it. The same thing like when you see Godzilla, it's like I don't really care about the story. I just want to see them battle and go up against each other. Like when you had Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Wow, what an awesome battle that was. But it was just too short. It was way too quick. And it would be nice if we could get Pacific Rim with these characters to face off in a versus or crossover with Godzilla, because I mean, Legendary owns these characters. They own, I guess, Godzilla and I guess the rights when it comes to all this or whatever. I know WB is involved with it, but I just don't know to what point. But it would be nice to get a crossover of Pacific Rim versus Godzilla. I mean, you got these huge titans just going at it. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you watching. All right, so we will get into some DC updates in a few. I'm just talking about these quick things real quick. So here we have Pacific Rim. So let's get into the next topic. Now it's when we're jumping into DC topics. All right, so I have a few things that we're going to talk about. All right, so apparently, like I've been saying recently, all right, and a lot of people have been calling it, that everything with DC right now and WB, they're going to try to make it seem that flops are okay and that they're acceptable. And this is a little concerning, because let's not forget, the first Joker made over $1 billion. And now look, according to Box Office Theory, Joker 2 is probably looking at 120 million through 150 million domestic debut. That is not good, because they're trying to lowball it and trying to show you, hey, look, this movie might not do as good as the first Joker, and we're aware of it, but it's okay. It's probably going to make 120 to 150 million. Why are they doing this? This is a new strategy that a lot of people are doing in the movie industry. What? I'll tell you right now. They're trying to say and aim low. So when the movie comes out and they make over what they're predicting that it's going to make, it's going to make them look good, because they're going to be like, well, your expectations weren't that high, and you surpassed the numbers that you said that you were going to pretty much make from it. So the new little strategy that all these companies are doing in the movie industry is, let's aim low. Let's go back and rewind time with the Flash. They were predicting that the Flash was going to make 300 million opening, the opening day at the box office, and it didn't. That whole weekend, it didn't make 100. I mean, it didn't make 300 million like they had predicted. So every time they kept lowering and lowering the numbers until we actually got to the release date. The same thing they did with Blue Beetle. They started with this high number, and probably like 3 or 4 times as we got close to the movie, they just lowered all of the numbers. And we know how bad Blue Beetle performed at the box office. It's sad, because these are movies from the DCEU that I like, I prefer, I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy all of them, but I did enjoy everything that had to do with the DCEU overall, compared to what they're trying to do now and stuff like that. But now they're trying to use the same strategy. They're trying to aim 120 through 150 million domestic. Now we just, and I spoke about this earlier in an earlier stream. If you haven't watched it, make sure to go and watch it. That now for Joker 2, they're allowing it to play in China. And China's a big, market for when it comes to these movies being shown over there, so they can make that money from over there. So it's that international money, if you want to say. And we know Black Adam didn't, I think it didn't they didn't allow it over there in China, and I think there was one more, I can't remember. I know it was something that it was happening with China, and they didn't want to screen it. Or I mean, of course, Joker 1, we know it didn't play over there. So now all of a sudden now we have Joker 2. And of course, because WB is in, desperate mode, that they need money financially, they need China to make good money so they can, of course, profit from it and stuff like that. It's just business, it happens. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm gonna watch this movie with no expectation, especially with what Todd Phillips said, that this movie is not going to be like your ordinary Joker and Harley Quinn. Of course, Lady Gaga is gonna do her performance well because she's a musician. She's a music artist, and her music videos are always awesome. And of course, throw that into here. That's pretty much her style more. Because Lady Gaga has that weird style when it comes to like performing and doing shows on camera. So she's pretty good at that. And I got to give her credit for it. Lady Gaga has always put on good music videos, and they're weird as hell. Some of them are real good, but they're always weird. So that is probably what's going to help this movie a lot. Like I said, and Todd Phillips has said also, like don't expect this movie to be true to the character of Joker or Harley Quinn. So he's just taking the name and pretty much doing his own thing. Like people are saying, it's like that movie Taxi or something like that, because that's what pretty much the first one was. But this should be, entertaining if you want to say it. Like I said, I'm gonna go in there, check it out when it's out, and we'll see what comes from it. All right, so moving on. Here's another update. All right, so apparently here we have Harry Lottie. I don't even know who's this character. I mean, who's this actor? Apparently this is going to be Harvey Dent in Joker 2. As you can see, they're going with a younger cast. Who is it trying to target? I have no idea, because if this doesn't take place, like what timeline is this on? There's no Batman. Now you're bringing in Harvey Dent. Okay, like how many times do we have to see Harvey Dent? We've seen them too many times, and it's like, okay, can we get other characters besides these that they've been done already before? Like, I don't know. To me, it's just like, what, it's kind of pointless to bring in Harvey Dent, but we'll see what happens with that. But there you can see that we're having a new Harvey Dent in Joker 2 from what's coming out and all these leaks that are starting to come out and stuff. And of course, as we get closer to Joker's release date, which is next month, literally is a month from now, because I think it releases October 11 or October 2nd, something like that. But we're pretty much in the 30 days away mark. So, that's that. Now, moving on to the next update. Here is something very interesting, but at the same time, it's a little concerning, but we shouldn't be surprised because we saw this coming. True, real DC fans see these things that are coming before they take place. All right, so apparently, with the Suicide Squad, that it flops so bad, now Rocksteady has begun laying off people. All right, this is how bad, and this is what happens when you don't give the fan service, and especially the fans, what they want. You thought that by bringing in this game and doing it a microtransaction and just, it's required to have internet connection, how they did with forgot which was the Avengers, the last Avengers game they did. They did the same thing. So here you have the end result. Now people are getting laid off. Money's going low. This game literally hurt WB, and it hurt Rocksteady, the company that made the game of Suicide Squad, to take out Justice League. That is pretty sad, because look at what it's even saying, that people are getting let go. Even somebody that during their paternity leave, they were laid off. So no company is safe right now, and of course we understand. We know that the economy is pretty bad right now, and the shape and everything. But still, when you have a video game company laying off people, it's not because it's the company, it's because the product. You imagine how expensive it was to create and make this game? It must have been a lot of money, because you're talking about next gen, you're talking about PS5 graphics, Xbox, the new Xbox. There's so much things that go into it, and the servers and whatever it is for you to have these games up and running, the graphics, the details, the story, the actors, everything. So this literally cost WB, you know, again, money, because they had to invest money to make this game. And we were calling it. We were like, this game is going to do bad once it releases. And that's exactly what happened. They delayed it like probably 3 or 4 times. And when they released it, it still had patches. So you had to like wait for updates and things. I think when it released, it still had some bugs in it. So, and then you had the studio coming out and apologizing. I mean, that just makes you look bad as a studio, with the gaming, on the gaming side, but also with the company itself, like WB, because here you guys have all this time. You announced it when it wasn't ready. You put it out when it wasn't fully ready, and the fans told you it's not going to do well because we're not going into a microtransaction. We're not supporting that whole it's online only. If you don't have internet, you cannot play this game. Not everybody has internet, and these companies have to understand not everybody is able to have internet because of whatever reasons. If you put these games out on consoles, let it be on consoles without internet connection. That way you could target more people and more people are able to enjoy and have fun and play and support these games. But this is what happens again, and this is WB just being WB again. They rushed the product. People were telling them this is not what we want. This is not how we want it. Fix it while you still can. They didn't do it. They didn't listen again to the fans. And boom, here is the end result, which it sucks. All right. It hurts Kevin's legacy until his final performance in Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 3. That's true. That is true. And the way that they did Batman in this game, come on. What is it with WB and them taking out Batman? Why? They did it in this game, they did it in the Flush. What's next? Do you not like your own character? Makes no sense. Make it make sense, please. Make it make sense. But it's not. I gave up on game. I gave up on the game the second I saw Gun inspired teaser. Yes, exactly. For sure, this was inspired by him. And here it is. This is the end result, and just like that, we will stop at nothing because we are the consumers. We are the fans. They do not listen. They don't want to listen to us. Boom. This is what you get. You reap what you sow. Because Batman hates criminals and people love criminals nowadays. That's true, unfortunately, but it's true. All right, so here's another rumor going around. Apparently, yes, this is fan made, but apparently, it looks like, oh my God, the actress that played Wanda in, you know, the Avengers. Can't remember her name right now. I'm just blanked right now. Apparently, she's being targeted to be the next Wonder Woman in James Gunn's DCU. Don't be surprised if this does happen. What's going on, Kriston? Yo, yo, yo. All right, so don't be surprised. This is this is very concerning because you have literally all the people from Marvel just coming over to DC. DC is no longer DC. DC is now becoming into Marvel. Period. You might as well just adapt it into the MCU too. And it's like, why? Elizabeth Olsen, that's her name. I forgot. Apparently, she's being targeted to be and play the next Wonder Woman. And like I said, this is yes, this is fan made. I know, I'm aware of that. But this is the rumor that's going around. Apparently, she's being offered the role, and they're trying to consider her to bring her over. And don't be surprised if this does happen. I mean, wow, it's just you might as well at this point just just call Superman Guardians of the Galaxy if you want to call it. I don't know what else to call it, honestly. Can Gunn pick any actor who isn't from the MCU? Yes, he can't. He can't. What up, Sean? Appreciate you. It's wild. You have all this amazing talent in Hollywood. So many actors, so many actresses, and Gunn is just picking and choosing people from Marvel. It's like he can't see past that. It's like he's under a strict contract to be like, you have to only hire people from Marvel. That's what it seems like. But honestly, I just have no more words to say about this. As a fan, I'm just like, wow, every time they just let us down more and more. And I mean, which they could literally go with the Snyderverse on a different timeline, and James Gunn could cast whoever he wants. But apparently, all he's just trying to do is just bring all his friends over from Marvel, and that's what it looks like. Next update. All right, so apparently this is an interesting one. All right, here we catch James Gunn in another lie, and I'll tell you why. So James Gunn said Booster Gold will not make an appearance in Superman. Yeah, right. We know he's gonna do it. So apparently somebody asked him, "Is Booster Gold going to appear in Superman?" And then he responds, "No, having a hard time figuring out the relationship between this and Judy Bloom. I have no idea because I'm not familiar with the characters. Do not be surprised if you see Booster Gold make an appearance in Superman. I know it's gonna happen. James Gunn is just trying to round up all his characters and all these you know people of different I guess to play different roles or whatever, unknown characters. Booster Gold. I don't know anything about Booster Gold. Some fans that are hardcore of the comics, okay, but we know recently that there was a rumor going around that this actor is going to be playing Booster Gold. Don't be surprised when you see it, because again, remember when James Gunn recently said that he put up a poll if we wanted Superman with the trunks or no trunks, and then he had said that that's not going to determine if the character in his movie Superman is going to have the red trunks, the underwear. And what happens after that? We get the leak of Superman wearing the red underwear. And the same thing now. Now he's saying no, he's having a hard time figuring out the relationship between these characters. No, he's just trying to figure out how he's going to put them in there. So don't be surprised if you see Booster Gold in this movie. I know it's gonna happen. So especially with all the characters he's bringing into this Superman movie he's cramming in and stuff like that. All right, who do you think ruined DC more, Gunn or Hamada? Gunn. Hamada was at least trying. Let's give Hamada some credit. I didn't like the route he was going, but at least he was going to keep Henry Cavill. He was trying to work with Ben Affleck. He was trying to, keep Gal Gadot so we can get Wonder Woman 3. Because remember, Patty Jenkins was talking about Wonder Woman 3, but then once James Gunn came on board, everything changed and everything got scrapped. And, same thing with Ben Affleck. And Ben was happy and excited when he filmed The Flush, The Flash, whatever. But once James Gunn came on board, he changed the ending. He scrapped that end with Ben Affleck and he brought in George Clooney. So dun dun, there it goes again. And of course, James Gunn is just trying to do what James Gunn does best, just completely change everything to put it as he wants because he's the one that's in charge of DC Studios. So, when it comes between James Gunn or Walter Hamada, I prefer Walter Hamada, sadly, but that's what that is. All right, so moving on to the next update. Here we have something very interesting. And again, don't be surprised. We saw that Chris Pratt was on set recently with James Gunn behind the scenes. You remember that? I talked about it not long ago. And here we have James Gunn says that he's talked to Chris Pratt about joining the DCU all the time. All right. So apparently somebody asked him something. He's like, I don't even know what rumor you're talking about. Somebody says, there's a rumor that you and Pratt have had talks about him joining the DCU. And James Gunn responds, he's a close friend. We talk about that all the time. Okay. So if you're friends with somebody, we know that they're good friends, Chris Pratt and James Gunn. Nothing bad with that. All right, cool. We know that James Gunn did Guardian of the Galaxy. All right, cool. We know that Chris Pratt played a good Star Lord in all the movies of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Infinity Saga, Avengers, and all that stuff. Pretty cool. Okay, so if they're good friends and they're always talking about that, are you going to tell me that Chris Pratt isn't going to be convinced to come on board in the DCU? Of course he is. They're friends. And not only that, James Gunn is just pulling all of his friends from Marvel so that they could join. And we pretty much are going to have a, I don't know, you call it Justice Guardians of the Galaxy League mixed, whatever you want to call it. You see what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to turn DC into a full Marvel 2.0, 3.0, whatever you want to call it. That's exactly the route that they're heading, and it's going. It's sad, because here we are seeing our characters when we have quality under the Snyderverse, how they're slowly being dismantled and now being turned all into a joke. It's just turning into a full joke with what James Gunn is doing. All right. You're going to tell me that Chris Pratt was on set with James Gunn just to look at it? No. They're doing the same thing like what they did with Justice League. They brought on board people from Marvel. Kevin Feige was on set, Joss Whedon was on set, other people from Marvel were on set. So they're looking at, okay, this is what you guys are doing. Okay, cool. We're going to copy and do the same thing, and we're going to beat you to it. And that's what happens with Justice League. Infinity War copied them, We already know the story. All right. Now, same thing is happening with this. I only see Chris Pratt playing two characters, and it looks like it's heading into the next one. One, Booster Gold, because we've seen fan art and rumors and stuff like that. That would be interesting. And plus, Chris Pratt is very sarcastic and he has charisma, so he has that character, with that personality that it would fit Booster Gold. So it would be the quote unquote Deadpool, if you want to say. And if not, then probably Chris Pratt might be the next Batman. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds weird. Trust me, that sounds insane. But do not be surprised if that does happen. One, because Chris Pratt is very good friends with James Gunn. Not only that, Chris Pratt is good, with movies. His acting is not the best, but he does, he has this charisma that when he's on screen, it gets your attention and you just want to watch his movies. When he was in Jurassic World, what was it? Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom, and well, all three of them. Yeah, he was on all three of the Jurassic World movies. So he played the character, Owen. He was good. I was surprised, and that's coming from a hardcore Jurassic Park fan. I was like, okay, I'm convinced. All right, cool. And can he play Batman? I don't know. Are we gonna see him as Batman? That we don't know. We don't know. But do not be surprised because remember when Chris Pratt got fit and he started working out for the role for Star Lord, dude was getting buff. He was getting ripped and all that stuff. So he did his part. So if Chris Pratt does the same to play Batman, I wouldn't be surprised. It could happen. It could seriously happen. And I think that's the role that Chris Pratt is going to play for James Gunn's DCU. I have a feeling that Chris Pratt already knows and he's already selected, and James Gunn has also agreed with him, and they've both pretty much wrapped it up in the sense where they're like, "Hey, you're going to be Batman. I'm just trying to see how I'm going to bring you on board and introduce you, probably in Superman, probably in the end credit scene, and of course with that whole thing that." He just talked about recently that they want him to do that thing just like in, I guess, in the comics where Batman and Superman are having coffee and they crack a joke. That would be Chris type of personality if he was to play Batman. Would I want to see Chris Pratt as Batman? Not really. But at this point, I mean, I am not surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Pratt is going to be the next Batman when it comes to James Gunn's DCU. Don't be surprised. All right. All right, let me read some comments real quick. All right, so yeah, you think so? I think so too. Hello, hey, what's going on? City of Ember 313. Did you see the news that Maze Runner is getting rebooted? Wow, another reboot? See, that's the thing. That's the problem with Hollywood. All they keep on putting out are reboots and reboots. Not sure why, but why not continue what you already have established? That's the part that really confuses me when it comes to all these movies in the industry. I mean, I'm not surprised. All right. I miss Keaton. Yeah, I miss Keaton too, especially with what we saw in the Flush. I mean, that was kind of very disappointing. I wanted to see more of Michael Keaton, and of course, leading into Batman, that would have been awesome. But a missed opportunity for WB, and we got what we got in the Flash, and it's kind of disappointing, honestly. We could have gotten so much from Michael Keaton, setting up and pretty much ending him as Batman, as his legacy, if you want to say, opening the door and setting up a future Batman with Batman Beyond. That would have been dope. But WB just being WB, and they did what they did. If you want to look it up, Maze Runner reboot is everywhere. All right, cool. I'm gonna check that out. I have to look into it. I think a reboot is needed. A reboot? Okay, I guess. Um, it's just everything is just getting remade again now. It's like probably every 10 to 15 years now, everything is getting a reboot. It's happening with Alien. It's happening with Terminator. It's happening pretty much with everything. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty wild how all these movies are right now, just getting reboots upon reboots, and There's just so much that they can do to expand, the worlds or whatever they want to call it, and go with. But it's not a surprise, honestly. I'm like, I really don't know at this point anymore. It's pretty wild, but here we are. Here we are with this whole thing. But it is what it is. All right. The OG trilogy is bad. Okay, I gotta check it out. It's been a while, so I don't really remember it. We have different opinions. I love the original trilogy. That's cool. Hey, if you guys enjoy it, that's all that matters. Wish we could say the same thing about what's going on with DC right now, but it's pretty wild right now. It's just completely so divided, but at the same time, they're heading in a different route that as a fan, I'm not interested. I wish I were, but I just can't. But yeah, that's pretty much these updates that I had, and I just want to talk about it with y'all. Let you know, because of course the internet is about to be talking about all this, and it's just like, why not? You know, these updates are gonna keep on coming out constantly and stuff like that. So DC and Disney basically have the same problem. Yep, that's true. They both share the same problem when it comes to this. This is why, like I said, Netflix is winning, because Netflix is putting content, they're putting good quality, and Netflix is just going with it. They have so much to pick and choose to watch from their platform, and it's awesome. It's awesome. As a fan, like, it's just so much that you can watch from there, and it's incredible, honestly. And this is the problem that WB has with their streaming service. They don't have so much to look at. Like, they have a lot of shows and movies that are, okay, I've already seen that too many times or whatever, and or something that's just not good. Netflix just has so much stuff. You can just watch whatever you want on it, and it's a little bit of everything. You have from anime to animation to live action to whatever it is, indie films and stuff like that, international films, everything. So that's the good thing. Netflix has a lot of that, especially this whole thing that's coming in 2025, January, that they're going to be doing that whole streaming now with the WWE. I mean, that's going to be awesome, honestly. I haven't watched WWE in a while. I used to watch it when they were still good, but it just completely fell off for a while. But now that they're doing that exclusive deal with WWE and Netflix, wow, that's a huge win right there. I mean, that's just, it's crazy. Who would have thought that Netflix would have been so big? All right, we live in a society where the fans pump out quality content, whereas Hollywood is milking shitty variants of beloved franchises. Yep, that's true. I mean, again, it's just Hollywood. Hollywood has officially ran out of ideas, and they have so many things that they can just connect, continue, and start something new. But it's like, I don't know. That's the problem with all of these movies nowadays. They all lack creativity and originality. They always think that, oh, it's a reboot, a reboot. Let's do a reboot. It's not gonna work with a reboot. People are tired of reboots. But it is what it is. But yep, pretty much that was it. Those are just the few updates that I came across, and I wanted to talk with y'all and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? So here we are. But yeah, I want to thank y'all for watching. And, as always, hit that subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all stay safe and peace.